Today is all about showcasing your expertise as a hypnotherapist and really having those solid hypnosis client sessions that not only make you feel very satisfied for actually helping your client resolve their issues, but also makes you the top of mind of that client moving forward, which means more referrals. In the future, if they need you, they're going to come back to you. And of course, that can lead us to earn more money, right? And so I'm going to ask three very relevant questions today that has to do with having solid hypnosis sessions. So let us just begin. First one is, how can I make my sessions more effortless for me and my clients? I love this because I don't know about you, but I love things to be more efficient. Who doesn't want to get more things done in less time, right? And especially within our hypnosis sessions, who wouldn't want to have a bigger transformation in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort, right? That is what the whole advanced conversational hypnosis model is all about. So when you're thinking about efficiency and making it more effortless, one of the things that one of the factors that can really affect that is how we are in our sessions is a big one. If we try too hard and if we overthink, if we put so much pressure on ourselves, if we are so hyper focused on fixing the problem, even though the problem is not for us to fix, it's for the client's mind to fix, then this can obviously lead to more effort for us. And then on the other side, the client will feel more resistant. So, what you really want to do is take a look at your sessions and be honest with yourself with regards to how you're actually doing them, right? Are you putting a lot of pressure on yourself? Are you adding more things that don't need to be added? Right? Or and what approach are you in? Like, are you stressed out before your calls? Are you doing your own self-care practices? Like, how are you doing it? And of course, things like scripts and techniques. I used to read pages and pages of transformational recording scripts. I also had a lot of scripts. Looking back now, those were completely useless. But really, you want to look at the structure, how your hypnosis sessions are structured right now, and look at to see whether or not those are actually still necessary. Like, are you finding that all of those things are actually contributing to the result that your clients are giving you? And when I'm talking about results, I'm talking about the transformation, not the hypnosis. A lot of hypnotherapists think that their session worked if their clients are hypnotized. That, I get it, but our clients came to us for a result that we use hypnosis for, right? So if a client comes to me and says, Fritz, I have insomnia, I need to sleep, I am barely able to function during the day, why would I focus on the hypnosis, which can help them sleep? But really, we know that there is a plethora and many, many reasons as to why that person cannot sleep, right? And so instead of focusing on the hypnosis, which is a temporary thing, why not just focus on the actual investigation of the root? So, really, to answer this question of how you can make your sessions more effortless, you want to direct your attention on the things that actually help your clients get the result, not the hypnosis, the result. So, if an insomnia client comes to you and and you look at your session and you see that the investigation part really, really help them, then focus your attention on learning that skill set. And for me, that has been true. And for most of my colleagues as well, that has been really true, which is why the advanced conversational hypnosis program is really just based on getting better at that hypnotic interview, getting better at looking at the unconscious moments to really get to the root of the problem. So, to make things more effortless for you and your clients, focus on the investigation phase, not the hypnosis, not to get the client into trance phase, because that stuff, like the hypnosis and the trance, will happen as a byproduct of a really, 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 really good therapeutic intervention. Without a good therapeutic intervention, then it will be more effortful for us and our clients. It'll be effortful for them because they're going to resist. it'll be more effort for us because we're putting pressure on ourselves and we're trying to do all of these things that might not really fit how the client's minds work. And so by being able to just investigate the client's problem and utilize whatever our clients are giving us, this is how we're going to make our clients' sessions effortless, and really looking at what you're doing right now and focusing your attention on what you know to work, and look at this objectively, right? Look at this objectively, get the emotions out, use your tools, look at things objectively. Like, is the induction really helping your clients, right? Is the deepener really helping? Is that lemon test really going to help your clients, right? So, really taking a look at that, that is how you become more efficient and effortless. So, second question, some of my clients didn't receive lasting results. How can I improve? Great question. So, really, the key here is that if our clients don't receive the lasting results, like maybe it takes the edge off, like the sessions we have takes the edge off only, and then after a week or so, something happens and they go back to their whatever their problem is, then um, it means that we just haven't gotten to the root, right? So a prime example of this is something like emotional eating, right? Or just, you know, self-medicating with sugar. For example, someone comes to you and they're emotionally eating and they're eating all the sugar, right? So, and this happened to me with my old traditional method, personally, for myself and for other clients, where they would have an effect pretty much immediately. Like, they will feel better about sugar, they'll stop eating the sugar, they may listen to the recording and be like, I'm sugar free. And then months down the line, they come back. So really, the root really wasn't addressed there, even though I thought it was, because it worked right then and there. So the reason why those results aren't lasting is because we just got to the superficial level layer, right? We just although it worked right then and there, it just took the edge off temporarily. And we didn't really address the root as to why that sugar craving or that tendency to be eating sugar is still there to begin with. And this is actually quite common. So if this happened to you, no shame, girl. It happened to all of us, especially with just the traditional root, right? They claim to have the root cause, but I was personally taught that, but my results were kind of hit or miss. It worked for some, but there are other ways as to which we know for sure that it will work. And I'm going to talk about that after I answer this third question. But you want to, do you want to improve this then? Just get better at the hypnotic interview again. Get better at the investigation phase. This is one of these things too where we probably already just use our intuition with the investigation phase. And so when we use our intuition, which is really, really powerful, we can get these results, right? But intuition, as well as the strategy as to how to actually get to the root, is a lot more powerful, as one can imagine. So how you want to improve is learn a skill set that actually helps you get to the root of the problem. And getting to the root of the problem is not about memorizing another technique. It's not about getting the clients more hypnotized. It's not a fancy new way to get a client into trance within 5 seconds. It is not about having another technique like a meta model or getting more complicated with the language patterns that we use. Like, those are not the things that give a client results. It's the actual, how do we get our clients to look internally for the answer? And we don't help our clients look internally by giving them a technique. Me saying, hey, imagine you have a lemon right in front of you, smell it, and watch or notice how your saliva production increases. Like, that is not how we make a client more aware of their internal state. It's cool, but that's not really how it works. What Compared to, this is what I mean by helping a client to get to the root. When we're having a conversation with them and we're asking them about their sugar problems, and they realize their thinking process with regards to how they go from A to B, how they like have a trigger, and then the things that are going on in their mind between the trigger and then like getting that chocolate and stuffing it in their mouth, them seeing that through us asking the question, that is more powerful. That is what's going to lead to lasting results, not just saying, you hate sugar, you're indifferent with regards to sugar. You have a new coping mechanism now. Like that's superficial level shit, right? We take it a whole lot higher and deeper inside our ACH sessions where we actually have the clients focus on their internal experience of it. And the best way to do that is through a conversation, because if I ask you a question, your brain, which is solution oriented naturally, is going to try to look for that answer. What was the thing that you ate yesterday for breakfast? You're going to answer that either out loud or in your mind, right? By asking questions, this is how we retrieve unconscious information. And what you had for breakfast was unconscious until I asked you just now. So by having clients how to improve lasting results is really to get better at asking our clients questions, to get better at knowing what information is conscious versus unconscious, and really knowing or helping our clients to see themselves internally, see their thinking processes, see their patterns internally without us saying, hey, you're an avoidant. Hey, you're an emotional eater. They already know that, right? They just don't know why. So helping them access and learn about what their why is the most powerful thing that we can do. And all of this is taught inside the ACH program. So, last question. How can we tell that we've gone deep enough to the root cause? Similar to the last one. How can we tell that we've gone deep enough to the root cause and our clients have resolved their issue? I love this. And there are three ways that we can tell pretty much immediately as to when our session worked and we've actually gotten to the root cause. Contrary to popular belief, the root cause is actually a concept, right? It is a concept. And sometimes in our sessions, we might not know what that is in particular in that session. And that is actually a good thing that we don't know for 100% certainty, because then the unconscious mind processes. This is what we teach inside the trainings, because the unconscious mind will dig deeper to the depth that it needs to go in order for that root cause to actually be fixed. And how we get here really is, again, through asking our questions, right? So, how do you know that you've gone to the place where it's all good? The first one is something as simple as, I've never really thought of that before. Clients saying that, I've never thought of that before. This is such a simple thing that they say, but this is super powerful because when we think about our clients being stuck, like that client who's emotionally eating, and we ask them a question, and then they say, I've never thought of that before. That now breaks that loop of stuckness. Like before they were here, I'm being triggered and sugar right away, right? Like trigger, sugar, like that is their coping mechanism, right? And so when we ask them the question and then the series of questions that lead them to say, I never really thought of that before. That breaks that immediate unconscious loop of whatever that trigger is, that sugar, right? That breaks that loop, which means that it no longer will have an effect on them like it used to. So that is one of the reasons that one of the ways that you can tell that you're going towards the root of the problem. And then second is you are actually seeing a physiological change within their bodies and they report it as well. So a physiological change could be just something about their body language, just something about their face. Also, like we see that post-hypnotic glow where they also, excuse me, when they are more alert and you can see the color and brightness. You can see their eyes shining again. Those are amazing things to look for as well. And then they just say it out, like I feel very different, and you ask them to elaborate, and they say, I can breathe better, like their actual breathing. That's a physiological change, right? Or my heart stopped beating so fast and so loud, as I'm actually feeling my heart coming down now. Physiological change. That is an amazing thing. Or within our sessions, they feel very hot or something like they're just super hot and whatever that unconscious moment for them is, and then they start to regulate that like their temperature, right? That is also an amazing thing. So noticing those physiological things is one of the ways where you can actually see that it is resolving. And the last one is testing. Test, test, test. I don't know why some training schools don't teach this, but testing is super duper important. I talk about testing a lot here in this content, but really what you're doing in testing is you're just testing to see if the problem worked, right? There's situational and then there's emotional. So using the emotional eating client that we have, and they say, they usually emotionally eat after like on Fridays after a hard week of work. And it's actually Friday here today. That's funny. So Friday night, they tend to binge because they've had a really long week. So a simple situational testing question is like, okay, so today's Friday. Today's Friday. You've had the session, and then you've had a difficult week in your line of work. Are you going to still binge eat? Basic testing question, right? That's how you know, based on that answer. That's how you know if the issue's still there. Emotional one. This is an easy one. So they stress eat, right? So the same line of questioning. So what if it was a really, really stressful week? Like that week is twice as stressful. Are you still going to binge eat on a Friday? That is a very good question. And then that way you can actually see how they're going to start to form new solutions and new coping mechanisms to deal with the stress, right? And based on that answer, that's actually how you'll know that your session worked. So I hope that helped. I hope that helped. The three things that to let you know that you've gone to the root cause is the client says, "Oh, wow, I've never thought of that before." Very simple, but don't underestimate the power of it. Number two is when you see a physiological change, when you hear a physiological change, and as well as they report a physiological change within their bodies. That is actual subconscious or unconscious work. And number three is testing. When you test, they pass the test, that means that the session worked. So I hope that this helped. And again, all of these skills, testing, what to do with when a client changes their physiology, like their heart rate that changes, their breathing changes, what to do with those specifically, because those are unconscious moments. Those are taught inside the ACH trainings, how to get the root cause, how to make it effortless for yourself. All of these are gone through the hypnotic interview, so you no longer have to prepare, you no longer have to put any effort in, you no longer have to worry if your client's results will last. Your clients are going to have better results that compound over time instead of them going back and regressing to their symptoms. All of these are taught inside the ACH program. So any questions at all, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you soon.